All right, I want to take a look at SHIB today. I wasn't really a believer too much before it got listed on to Coinbase. And when it got listed on Coinbase, I thought maybe it'll get there. It's already up significantly from the listing. There was a little bit of an issue when it got put on Coinbase. It got put on, the liquidity pools are not linked together like I talked about in the other video, and it shot way, way, way up. And when it did, so this is the Coinbase listing. Everyone said, "Oh, they made a mistake. Oh, they didn't, whatever, get a zero." But it listed exactly where it was supposed to. It ramped up real quick because there's not very much liquidity put in there. And looking at that, it shot all the way up. They shut the trading down and let it get synced back up to where it was everywhere else. And they restarted, and everyone now is like, "Oh, I need a zero. Oh, it's up, good." It is up good. It's looking actually pretty nice. Let me close this on profile if I can. Oops. There we go. All right. So, and everyone's like, "Oh, I might make a new all-time high." Well, a new all-time high for that is not that actually far away. It's just up at 0.00009, and then people are like, "Oh, maybe it could go to 0.001." I honestly think SHIB, looking at the ecosystem that they have, is pretty nice. They got their dig and their NFTs are coming out in a couple days. They got their berries, so you can get some, gains in return. You can get your liquidity for Bone, and you can get your NFTs from that kind of stuff. They've got a pretty good little ecosystem going, to be honest. It's got a solid look to it overall. The websites are nice. The idea is pretty good, and they have a rabid following, like absolutely rabid. If you go in and try to talk any kind of sense to them, like when I originally went in and said, "Man, you guys are crazy. That's not how things work," they told me, "Shut up and buy." You fudster, you just want to steal our SHIB. And like, I didn't want to steal any SHIB. I traded when it listed on Coinbase, and I made really good money, because there was a discrepancy with the listing and how it went. So, I caught a good little run in there, and then before they turned it off, I was gone. And when I got down here, I was laughing at them. I told them, "You guys aren't, you guys are nuts. It's not going to go anywhere," because the market cap is insane. The market cap is, a quadrillion, whatever. Even when giving up half, like, it's nuts. And I had never expected them to actually eat any zeros at all. It just looks, terrible. But the fan base is super rabid, and the stuff they offer is pretty good. If they can keep that up, I mean, could I see it eating, another zero? Yep. I could at least see it rechecking up there, and we'll probably know what's going to happen somewhere around that area right there. Somewhere around 5 to 6. We're probably going to get a pretty strong reaction. You might find a lot of people selling off, but that's coinciding about the same time that pop happens as Leash and the NFTs come out. Might continue it on. We'll see. And then plus, just got a listing on WhiteBIT. And let me see if I can pull that up to, where was that at? Pretty far down the list. I mean, I was not real impressed. I'm like, WhiteBIT, whatever. But when I looked at it, WhiteBIT's not too bad. They've got some decent volume. I don't think they're a fantastic looking exchange, to me anyway. This is everything that they list. And after I looked it over, I thought, well, just because I've never heard of them, what's their volume look like? It's pretty good volume for 24 hours. They say they have 150,000 customers. Maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Who knows how much that is wash. But either way, they listed, and it's looking pretty decent, I would say right now. It gave SHIB a pretty good pump as well. Their exchange is significantly different than what I trade on. I actually don't even know how to change their stuff too easily. Give me just 1 second, sorry. So that listing, I mean, it's, it's like just listed. Just listed. Not too bad. Took a little dip. Looks like some people sold some liquidity off. Took a little gains. I mean, it's up 600%. That's fair. But how does it actually look? Pretty damn good, actually. Could I see it pulling back down to maybe, back in that area at like 23, or maybe even like right there across that Cross that little spike right there. Maybe. That's 1334. If it doesn't go real well and it pulls back to there, I could see it pulling back to there, hanging out and bouncing up. But realistically, I think it's probably more likely going to go probably right in there to right in there. So maybe 51, 56, 64. If you clear those, I think you just get an automatic vacuum up and test up into the high at 9. Now, something very interesting would happen. That's the same thing that happened down in here. After that faded back off, 6 to 7 to 8, was struggling, and it hit 9. And everyone's like, yeah, it's going to eat that 0. And it just rejected the shit out of it. It was just no. Hard no. Hard no. And it came back down to like 6, 7. That was pretty harsh. And then that's it. It just started ramping. So I could see it coming back down to that area, maybe a little overshoot. But the fans of SHIB are numerous, and they are rabid. Absolutely rabid dogs. So I realistically think 5 to 6, pretty easy. And then that same style of test, that fractal at the next, 0, 9, I could see it pulling back down to maybe 6 and then clearing. I could see it clearing up to maybe, realistically, that's a pretty good swoop, man. I could see us going up to like 0.002, maybe more. At some point, I could see them getting to 1 cent. I think 1 cent's pretty astronomical, though, because of the massive float without them burning a ton of it. I mean, you're talking like not even at a penny, they're already 14th in market cap. That's just insane. That's pretty significant. It's hard to see it going past, Bitcoin and everything else. And at that price, that's almost more than the M1 money supply in the world. So even if it got there and everyone started taking gains, it doesn't mean that, you could sell all that SHIB at like even 10 cents. I mean, if people started selling at 10 cents, it's going to tank instantly right back down. Just like this looks over here. It's just going to tank off on a little bit of volume because there's not that much money in the world. But I definitely could see 1-2 cents for SHIB eventually at some point. I don't know how well it sustained that. I definitely could see, 0.001 pretty easy. I think that's very doable given the ecosystem and how it looks. I think it's possible. I'm going to keep trading it. I'm just in and out day trading it. I'm not really, holding for that kind of wild, crazy ride, because that's a lot of extension, and logic kicks in and people want to start taking gains. People start seeing, $10, $12, $100,000 gains. A lot of times they're going to want to lock those in. And I don't want to get caught in something where maybe, I'm the guy buying this and it drops 50%. I mean, in the overall scope of longer range, would it really matter? Probably not, but I still don't want to overpay, and I don't want to lose, a trade from like 50 grand to 25. Like that's not acceptable. But does SHIB have a chance? Eesh. It sure seems like it does, and that's hard for me to say. It's not something I want to say, but I want to wait and see how the NFTs react to the chart. And I want to see where volume actually really starts coming in, but they are getting listings. They're on Coinbase. They're pretty much validated as a good project. I don't know how they got on Coinbase. Blows my mind, other than the fact that the website's slick and they've got a rabid fan base. That really seems like what it is. Now, the other thing about their having a rabid fan base, they may get on Robinhood. Now, Robinhood is a walled garden. You cannot currently send BTC into it or off of it. So to me, Robinhood doesn't mean anything about price because it's not connected anywhere. It's, it's like contracts for difference. However, they are attempting to change that to where you could send cryptocurrencies in and out. That's going to make a big difference because there are a lot of a lot of Robinhood users, just like there is Coinbase, and you could trade your stocks and the most popular cryptos. That's cool. But if they listed SHIB as well, man, I could see that. That's where I think it could go to like the 1 cent area, just because there's so many degenerate people that trade stocks on Robinhood that it's sub penny for them to throw a couple $100. They don't care one way or the other. Like if they lost a couple $100, like who cares? But there's so many people like that probably could eat that up to 1 cent. Even at 1 cent, like most people aren't going to look at the market cap and go, that's unrealistic. It can't sustain that. They're still going to look at it and go, oh man, it went from like 1/10 of a cent to 1 cent. What's me throwing a couple $100 at a penny? Maybe it'll go to $1. That's where those hopers and dreamers really come in, and they'll probably push us to 1 cent eventually. I don't know if that's totally possible, but I can see a few scenarios where that does become the case. with the burn, with the NFTs, with the leash, with the different little ecosystem things that they offer. Like, it's pretty nice, actually. It's pretty nice. So, God, I hate to say that because it's such a meme coin. I can't say that about Doge because Doge doesn't have the full ecosystem. Shiba, I could see it overtaking Doge in market cap and probably taking away a lot of the Doge users to Shiba. That's the other thing too. Like, if you start just picking off Doge users and you get like Robinhood, accepting it and sending it out, that is quite a significant amount of new SHIB army. That really could probably take it up to the 1 cent range. I don't know. Either way, I mean, it's probably worth, throwing a few Degen $100 on it, to me personally. I mean, you do whatever you want with your account. I'm not, investment advisor, but for me, looking at the risk to reward return of that, I don't know. I don't think that hurts. It definitely doesn't hurt me. I don't know about anybody else, but for me to throw, a few $100s on it just as a joke to even see if it goes anywhere, it's worth it. And if it pans out, whoop-de-doo. I traded SHIB with everybody else. But some people are actually making significant, money today. Some people had a couple $100,000 into this, and it went from, 600 to 3,500. I mean, that's, 500-600% increase. They made really good money. How does that sustain though? Don't know. Don't know if I'd want that risk myself personally, but for a few $100s, I wouldn't really care. But SHIB's definitely worth taking a look at to see if it's right for you, because I'm not an investment advisor. Do your own charting, check it out. I mean, that's a pretty good looking chart. Even if that were to double bottom back out, I could see this really going somewhere. So good luck with SHIB.